At first glance, Portland native Matthew Dennison looks like any other downtown professional, on his way to work, recording cases at the courthouse, and grabbing a cup of coffee along the way.
It's part of a ritual I have. I sit and I watch everything going on. I read the Oregonian every day and I get the New York Times, and I'm always kind of excited to tear into the paper. I can't imagine going through a morning without looking at a newspaper and really trying to understand what's going on the other side of the world.
And that's where Matthew's interest starts him off in a very different direction.
I draw every day. It's kind of my ritual. This is basically an imaginary building where nature is enveloping the building. And a lot of my buildings have water or current coming out of the buildings. The characters and the images are tilted or impacted by the environment. Trees are tilted, houses are half sunken into the ground. This is kind of another icon for the volatility of our earth and kind of suggesting that we're not in control, maybe perhaps. My focus is on the world and how we interact with it. I'll see something in the news with all this flooding of the last 10 years and the global changes. I think that's kind of why I'm just really incorporating what I'm seeing in the world into kind of this personal language, this personal visual language of drawing.
As intriguing and accomplished as these drawings are, they're just the beginning.
Yeah, this is what I want right here. I've been painting almost 35 years. My parents bought me an oil set when I was 12. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to paint. My work is narrative. It's about telling a story. It's about a different way of looking at something. In this particular one, I've got these people that are like going away from this thing that's happening. Some kind of turmoil going on. I'm not sure exactly if it's man-made or nature, like if it's like people running from a typhoon or a hurricane. Some political unrest. Trying to address some of those things where we can't control everything and we think we can and we really don't. You know, you feel helpless with what goes on in the world. I think that we have a lot of issues that are coming to the forefront now. I think realistically we have environmental issues and we have political things going on around the world that impact us. And the world is changing, the world is shrinking, and I think I'm responding to that. Okay, I'm about ready to put some newspaper on this.
Newspapers not only inform the work, they also perform the work.
Okay, then we go like this. I use brushes and tape and sand, paper. I always think of these blades as a pencil. I'd say probably the least important tool is a brush. They evolve when I paint them. Sometimes it'll change quite a bit before I'm done. Often I sand the surfaces. And then I'll go back in and rework them again. The thing I get when I sand the piece is you get like this opening up of the textures, and almost like when you impact a surface, it gives it memory. And that's another thing, is I'm trying to create these memories with this work.
Matthew grew up in Portland in the 1960s and 70s, But these images are not mere nostalgia.
I really see it as very serious. I'm really impacted by nature and the trees, and it's apparent in my work. I'm exploring about connectivity and how we're all kind of connected to our environment, and you know, what one person does affects another person innately. The thing with the fox is that animals are appearing where they don't normally appear, and people are living together with animals. I'm even thinking of having birds in these people's hands. I include a lot of animals because I feel like, you know, we're supposed to be stewards. I think that we live in a time where we can't be complacent anymore. And I guess I worry about people avoiding realities of things that are going on in the world because maybe it's scary. I want my work to be approachable. It's to draw people in and make them kind of slow down and stop and think about, you know, what are you doing? I don't want to scare people away, you know. It's my way of signaling my concerns and, you know, and possibly communicating what I feel like with other people.
Oregon Art Beat shares the stories of Oregon's amazing artists, and member support completes the picture. Join us as a sustaining member at opb.org/video.